Okay, good evening and welcome to this session. Today we are going to focus on prompt engineering. Um, like we all know, it is a very important aspect of the current trend of AI, and it is very essential for all of us to have an idea of how it actually works. So today I will be presenting on this particular important phase. Basically, it's supposed to be a practical session, but one of the rules for EdTech is that you don't bring the technology to the people like that. You need to explain to them some of the features, you need to explain to them some of the basics so that they will understand what you are saying before you bring the technology to them. That is why I first of all started with this PowerPoint. I put it together so that we'll have some of the basics of prompt engineering. I'll be so quick on this one so that we'll go through some of the practicals of using prompting. So the objective of this session is that you should understand what prompt engineering is, and you have to learn how to write some effective prompts and how to apply this in the Ghanaian education context, and also you practice how to use AI tools for real tasks. So next is most of us know what is prompt engineering, and in our last session Madam showed us some of the definitions of prompt engineering. Basically, a prompt is basically a clear instruction given to AI, because if you want to talk to AI, you need to be very clear. So prompt engineering is basically talking about that one, and it helps us get accurate and useful responses. It also turns AI into a practical assistant for education work. If you know how to do correct prompting, it will basically help you and be your personal assistant, and it will make your work very easier. So why this one matters is it supports teachers with lesson preparation, it reduces workload in large classrooms, it helps create teaching material quickly, and it supports digital learning in low resource setting. So these are some of the importance of why we need prompt engineering. All of us are using AI, and we do give some instruction to it, but there is this concept we call prompt engineering, which basically, if you master it, it will help you how to do your work in a very simple way. So first of all, you have to think of AI in this way. It is not a search engine like Google. You just go to Google and ask a general question. When you go to Google and ask a question, it brings you a lot of links that you have the option of choosing and make your own decision. But for an AI, it generates from different sources and put it together. So you need to be very clear. That is why you did not need to take it as a search engine. So AI is not always correct. When you send your prompt to AI, you should know that it is not always correct. So first of all, the first thing you have to do is you must know ensure that your prompt is very clear. So it works best when it gets a clear audience. It's like you have your assistant in your office, or you have an intern that you are training. You have to give them a very clear instruction so that they will know what to do, because as someone learning, they did not know exactly what to do until you make it very clear to them. So it acts like a trained assistant. There is this formula that is very important when it comes to getting good prompts. First of all, you need to have a role. You need to give a role to the AI. You give it the task, you give it the context, the format, and also constraint. In our next slides, you have to see how all of these ones work. So we all know weak prompts and strong prompts. A weak prompt is when you just be general, just verge. For example, you are a teacher and you are trying to make a lesson plan, or you want AI to explain something to you. You just go to the AI and say, explain fractions, for example, as a math teacher. AI will just give you generic answers. It will only give you generic outputs. But for this one to be a very strong prompt, you need to give it a context, give it a task, give it a rule, so that AI will understand what you want. So a strong prompt example is you should tell AI, for example, act as a basic school teacher in Ghana. Now you have given it the role, basic school teacher, and also you have given it context, Ghana. So now it understands what you are trying to say. And also you go further by saying explain fraction to primary 5 pupils. So you see, now AI understand which level of student that you are trying to talk about. Using examples like sharing food. Use simple English. Here also you try to put them try to put some other instructions so that AI will understand further. But if you just make it very generic like this one, the answer that it will give you will always be generic, and it will not be helpful for your own context. So you have to be very detailed on giving some of these prompts. So some of the elements that I was talking about are this one. The role, basically when you, the role is who the AI should act as. Always give a role to AI. Act as a mathematics teacher, act as a government teacher, act as a social study teacher. Give them this basic guidance so that AI will understand the role that it should play. And also the task. Always give it the task that you want it to do, what you want it to do. So tell AI what you want to do. So you see, you have to give it the context, where or for whom, who are the people, and which context. Because if you ask AI, most of the data that AI was trained on, they are in those they are from those European countries. So most of the time they give you generic answers based on those countries, not taking in consideration of what you're asking of. That's why you need to give the context. Tell it that you are coming from Ghana and you want example based on that one, and the outcome that you're asking for is based on Ghana context. So the AI will understand that this is what I should do. And also the format, the output of what you want. Do you want it in a table format? Do you want it in a bullet points? Do you want it to be academic formats? All of those formats you need to give to AI so that they understand how they will give you your output. Constraint, you have to limit AI on what you exactly want it to do. Limit such as time or level. Tell them that this is a nursery, this is a JS2 context, telling that AI should base on that level. Because if you just give your prompt without limiting it, it will give you something that is above what you want or below. That's why you need to limit it. Common mistake that people do when they do prompting is being too vague. No class level, like for teacher, I don't give level or subjects that you want the AI to give output of. Asking too many things at once. You need to be very basic sometimes, and you give follow-up questions. Ignoring formats. Some people just ignore the formats and try to just ask AI like that. So there are techniques that you must follow when doing prompting. Technique 1 is called role prompting. Example is you say act as a Ghanaian JHS teacher. You see, role prompting. Technique 2 is add context. So you add the class level, subject, and local examples. Techniques. The other technique, which is the third technique, is step by step. You give it step by step instruction, break it into steps. You ask AI to structure the lessons, provide clear teaching flow. So you have to do it step by step. After asking one question, when AI give you an answer, you ask another question and something like that. Technique 4 is output format. As I just said earlier on, you have to tell AI that you need it as a lesson plan, you need it like a bullet point, you need it in a table format or a quiz question. So if you give all this background context to AI will understand what you are trying to ask for. So these are some of the techniques that you need to have as a teacher, as someone that is implementing or using AI. You also have the constraint technique. I already said something about constraint. You need to limit AI on the answers that it should give you. You said this lesson plan that I'm creating, I need it to be 40 minutes lesson. Simple English. Tell AI that you need it in simple English so that AI don't make it very complex. Low resource classroom. Tell it that I'm dealing with low resource classroom, so it should not give you examples of those sophisticated classrooms in the Western world. You know, they are using smart classrooms. So if you are asking them this, you have to limit it, telling it that I'm dealing with a low resource classroom. Technique 6 is ask AI to act as a prompt engineer. This is the most logical and most important aspect of using AI. If you are not conversant of how to ask AI, the right question to ask AI, what you should do is use AI as the prompt engineer. You understand? Use this when you want the AI to improve or rewrite your prompt for better results. For example, act as a Ghanaian expert prompt engineer. You tell AI, act as an expert prompt engineer, improve the following prompts to make it more clear, specific, and effective for a Ghanaian classroom context. Create lesson on fraction. So now you've given the AI the task to do the prompt for you. You just tell the AI to give you the prompt. So now AI will give you a prompt of this one, create a lesson on fraction. When they give you that particular prompt, you just need to copy it and paste it to a new chat, and you will have your answer that you need. Just go through it and see if that is exactly what you want, and where you need to edit, you edit it also. Another example is you tell AI, act as a prompt engineer. Rewrite this prompt so that it include role, context, format, and constraint. Example, you say explain photosynthesis. So now AI will act as a prompt engineer to ensure that it gives you the right answers. Why this method work? Basically, this method is one of the most effective for me, for my experience, because sometimes after writing, just write what you want to write, just write something and ask AI to be a prompt engineer to refine that prompt. Most times it gives you a very clear prompt. Most times just give the objective of your prompt, what you want to do. AI will give you a specific prompt that you will use to give you a correct answer. So this works. The AI helps refine your thinking. You learn better prompting by seeing improvements. You see, from asking AI to give you prompts, you will see that, oh, this is the best way to give a prompt because it is coming from AI itself. It is useful also when you are unsure how to structure your prompt. If you are not sure of what you are asking, you can ask AI also to act as your prompt engineer. Another very important aspect that people normally don't talk about is symbols. There are specific symbols that you can use during prompting. You have headings. When you are prompting, you want AI to make your structures to have headings and something to have it in different level to give you objective. For example, create a lesson plan using the structure below. You see, so these are headings example. AI now will give you an output based on the objectives, teaching activities, and assessment. It will put it in that level. You have quotation marks. If you want to use quotation marks in AI, use when you want the AI to focus on exact wording or a specific term. So now when you are asking a particular question, you just want AI to focus on that particular term. Example, explain the term photosynthesis. So now when you send this to AI will focus basically on this particular term. So just students using simple language, an example from farming in Ghana. So now you see, photosynthesis is the main focus here. AI will understand that my main focus here is on photosynthesis, not photosynthesis types of disease. It will just focus on photosynthesis, not something related to photosynthesis that is not connected that much. So now you have separators. These are very important symbols that we should take note of. Separators used to clearly divide instruction. If you are giving an instruction, you have the first batch and you give separators. For example, create a lesson plan for primary 4 mathematics teacher. The topic fraction. Now you come to down here, you say include objective, activities, and also assessment. We have bullet points. You want your structure to be in a bullet point format. You see, like this. You have create a lesson notes and ensure it includes, you give bullet point 1, definition of fraction, point 2, 2 real life example, point 3, 1 classroom activity, point 4, 3 assessment question. So now the AI will understand that you want it to be in this structure, in a bullet point structure, one after the other. It will basically give you the results based on that one. Another one is the numbering system, similar to the bullet points. Here you just want it to be in numbers. You see, number 1, define fraction. Number 2, show work examples. Number 3, give practice questions. And also we have the labels. You can see, used to assign clear meaning and structure. create a lesson plan with the following detail. You see, you have this one here: class level, primary 5, subject, mathematics, topic, fraction. So each one, you just give it its own label so that you structure it in a very well put format. And also, these are other important symbols. You have the placeholder, which you use when designing usable prompts for future use, because sometimes you have particular prompts that you don't want to write every time. You just want to change some of the things. For example, like this prompt: create a lesson plan for class. Maybe next time you want to change the class level, you just change it from here. Topic, you change the topic. Maybe you are a teacher that teach different type of topics or different type of subjects. You can change it each and every time that you want. The exact inclusion, used to add quick clarification without breaking the flow. For example, you say explain fraction. Now you have this one, the exact instruction inside here. Use example related to food sharing in Ghana. So now this one makes the AI understand what you really want it to do. The best practice for prompt engineering is to be clear and specific on what you want. Always include the context, because AI was trained with different data. Most of our countries that we are dealing with, they don't have a lot of data connected to our countries. So for AI to give you very specific answer, you need to tell the AI its context. If not, at first glance, AI will only give you answers based on the generic answers, and most of the data that was trained by AI is coming from Europe, America, and these large countries like China. Always include context. It's very important. Think about the audience. Who are the people that you are dealing with? And also improve prompts step by step. When AI gives you an answer, you have to refine it until you have what you are looking for. That is why humans should always be at the center of everything. I think this is the last slide for the presentation.